Hello. I am Stars Tina, and today is our very first nutrition class. This is a 4-week program. If you didn't know, my goal is to transform 100 women of color by the end of this year, so the beginning of January 2022. So when it comes to fitness, if you have a pen and paper and you're taking notes down, I want you to write this down, 3 pillars. And I actually thought about this within the past 3 days of how important it is to have a foundation when it comes to your fitness, because if you don't have a foundation, you're just kind of like wobbling all over the place. And the first thing I want you to write is mind and body transformation. That is how I want to think about everything these next 90 days, mind and body transformation. Underneath of that, I want you to put a number 1, and next to number 1, I want you to put mindset, because everything begins with your mindset. One of the goals that I want us to do is every single day for 30 minutes working on our mindset. That could be reading a book, listening to a podcast, listening to a great page, a great room in Clubhouse. It could be going to an event, a live event, but something to put in your head every day. It could be journaling to help your mindset. It could be yoga, it could be meditation. So that's the first thing I want us to focus on is mindset. The second thing is nutrition. That's what we're working on today. I'm not gonna give much detail about nutrition because that's what this call is about. And the third one is exercise. So in order to be a part of our women of color moving forward, mindset, nutrition, exercise. And with exercise, if you ever want to lose weight, you want to work out most days of the week. So if there's 7 days in the week, most days would probably be 5 or more. Yes? So if you want to lose weight, 5 to 7 days a week. If you want to maintain, then 3 days a week. But we have to move, and I'm trying to move away from saying that word exercise, because when people hear exercise, they think they have to be in the gym lifting crazy amounts of weights. They think they have to do burpees and all this craziness. No, it's just movement. It could be cleaning your house, doing squats as you're cleaning and moving. So long story short, let's get back to today's call, which is all about nutrition. So the first thing I want to talk about are something called macronutrients. So write that down. Give me a high five, type in the chat here, because this is going to be like a virtual call here, not a virtual call, an interactive meeting. If you know what macronutrients are, if you know what they are, type them in the chat. If you don't know what they are, say I've never heard of them. To be honest with you, I hear people talk about them all the time before, and I'm like, oh, they're just trying to sound important. They're just trying to sound like they know what they're talking about. They just want to sound healthy. And pretty much, there's 7 macronutrients. There's 3 that are super important. I'm not gonna say, because I'm still waiting for you guys to type in if you've ever heard of macronutrients, what they are. There's 7 and there's 3 major ones. Today we're gonna be talking about the 3 major ones and why are they important. We hear people talk about them all the time. Are you frozen, Leona? Looks like you're both kind of frozen there. Okay, type in, I'm still waiting for you to type. Why are these things important? Macronutrients are important because their nutrients are substances needed for growth, energy, provision, and other body functions. Macronutrients are those nutrients required in large amounts that provide the energy needed to maintain body functions and carry out the activities of your daily life. Okay, so you've heard of them, typed out what you think they are. How many macronutrients do you think you know? Renee, do you know any macronutrients? Type them in right there. I want to see where they are, because my goal is to not just tell you, but I want you to really get the information in your head. And I say that because, again, I've been in the fitness industry for over 7 years professionally, and to be honest with you, I'm just really now starting to get it. So I don't know what they are. Okay, great. I love that. Renee, have you heard of them? Do you know what they are? The 7 of them. The first, write down carbs, carbohydrates. I think we all have heard of those before. Type that down, carbohydrates. The second one, protein. Write that down. You hear me talk about that a lot. Number 3, fats. I'm gonna repeat these again, so don't worry. Carbohydrates, protein, fat. And Renee, I know you're walking, so if you can't write, it's okay, just listen. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats. We have minerals. Minerals are next. And then there's fiber. And then there's water, and then vitamins. So there's really only 3 major ones that we're gonna be talking about today. Of course, water. Before we get into water, type in the chat if you know how many ounces of water are in a gallon. Super important because you hear me talk about water all the time. How many ounces of water are in a gallon? Why do I ask this question? On an average day, you want to drink half your body weight in water. What does that mean? If you weigh 200 pounds, you're going to drink 100 ounces of water. But 128 ounces, did she write it in? 128, yay, Leona, you know. So now you know it's 128 ounces, so you know how many bottles do you need. I'm going to share a quick, I figured something out last night. I had a guinea pig for me, guys. Check it out. I don't know if I told you, Renee. I didn't tell you, Renee. So we can call him boyfriend. We can call him friend. You know, I'm too old for a damn boyfriend. But this guy that I'm dating, he had like some pimples on his nose. And he's like, Tina, how can I clear this up? And I'm like, well, first of all, how much water are you drinking? And he's like, I had a cup. This was last night. And I said, okay, let's drink some water. So we legit had a drinking contest. Have you ever had a drinking contest with water? I like want to make this a game. So he had a cup, I had a cup. I filled it up. I said, let's see who finishes first. Ready? I finished mine, of course, right away. He's going. I'm like, hurry up, come on. Number 2, boom, let's go. He did his second one. I was like, okay, number 3, let's go. Boop. I did number 3. And I was like, okay, first of all, I had like oodles of water yesterday. So I made him drink 2 more. So I think he had like 4, I don't know how many it was, but it was 64 ounces of water that he drank in less than 5 minutes. Have you ever tried that? So the next day, which was today, I said, how do you feel? Of course, he was using the bathroom all night and his stomach was super flat just from drinking water. So my point is we have to drink water. So on an average day, half your body weight, otherwise a gallon. For our girls, a gallon a day. So Leona, do you have your method of how you're doing your gallon a day? Is it a certain bottle, a pretty bottle? Some people carry a gallon and then put the lines in. I'm opening up the chat right now. Renee, Leona, talk to me. Tell me your method for your water. I can't hear you. Okay, so you bought some gallons of water. Did you look at the ounces on it? Because if you look at the ounces, it'll say how many ounces is in it. So Leona's going to look at her camera now. She said that she bought gallons of water and her goal is to, what about you, Renee? What do you use to stay focused on your water? Okay, she's saying you can't hear her. She's unmuted. I don't know what she's saying. I wish we could hear you. There you are. Yes, I can hear you now. She uses the gallon jugs. Okay. So I want to show you something my sister gave me. My sister gave me this right here. This is a gallon. It's a whole gallon. Good morning. Hydrate yourself. Remember your goal. Keep chugging. Feeling awesome. Don't give up. Awesome finish. I use this probably twice, to be totally honest with you. It's cool looking, but so yes. How many ounces in that? See? So Leona's showing us her water bottle that looks like a gallon. You would think it's a gallon, but it's how many ounces? 101. So that's how don't let them fool you. Yes. And it's still good. Okay, so that's great. So that's the number 1 key when it comes to eating. So a lot of people say, is it important to count your macronutrients or is it better to count your calories? Either one of those things, I don't know about you, but for me, it's frustrating. I hate it. It's like, but it works. I actually had a call with my mother this morning and I was legit, I didn't yell at her. Okay, I did yell at her, but not about this topic. She was saying how she wants to lose 20 pounds. And I said, okay, let's talk about meal prepping. And she's supposed to be on this call right now. I don't know where she is. But I said there's many different options you can do for meal prepping. One thing you can do is she was saying she wanted to order her food because, you know, sometimes they deliver the food to you already cooked. That's one option for meal prepping. Another thing I said to her, I said on Sundays, instead of actually cooking all the meals, you can prepare them, because some people don't like food that's already cooked. I know you, Leona, you like to have nice freshly cooked meals. So you can like cut up the onions, you can set the meat aside. That's another way to meal prep. And then the third way is actually cook everything for the week. I came up with a fourth way, guys, because none of those were working for my mother. She was just sitting there silent. I'm like, okay, I need an action step. And so what we came up with is she's gonna sit and she's gonna just write what she will eat each day. So instead of just like eating anything, at least she has a plan. And I said, I'd rather you have a plan that doesn't work too well instead of not having a plan at all. So those are currently the 4 ways of meal prepping. Talk to me about your meal prepping, guys. What do you do for the week to prepare for your week? Leona, you can go first.
That I can have an idea of what I want to cook, what I want to put together. I got me some salmon, got me some more of the Beyond Burgers, some vegetables. I think the meals are more important to me just to know what I can cook, because this transition is, I'm not going to say starting to get a little difficult, but it's has its challenges. That's how I say it.
It has its challenge in regards to being boring, like you're tired of eating the same foods, or what's the challenge?
Like I was telling you before, like I need a little bit more structure. So if I could, I need to make sure I work out in the morning, because normally when I have to walk in the evening, then it cuts me short on being able to eat dinner, because I normally leave and I go and walk, and then when I come back, it's already after the time that I'm supposed to be eating. So my goal is to work out in the morning, have my meals planned for the day, and then so I can make sure I eat dinner. Like lately I've been not eating dinner because I don't want to eat, because it's after the time we already put together. That's not good. So I want to make sure I eat so that I'm not hungry, and then when I do get up and eat, I'm not a raging bull because I'm starving. You know what I mean? So
I have a suggestion for that.
I'm trying to give myself a little bit more structure. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed.
Okay, so I
got this.
So I have a little suggestion for you. First of all, I love the fact that you transitioned. Pretty much, she used to eat meat, she used to eat pork, she used to eat all that other stuff. She slowly eliminated stuff. I think this is like your 2nd or 3rd month, Leona.
This is my second. This is going on month. No, I stopped. The last time I had meat was in June.
Okay, so
no. Beginning of July, I think.
Okay,
so I transitioned in the beginning of July, so it's like my 3rd month. Yeah,
okay, this is your 3rd month with me, and you're doing great. First of all, you get big kudos for not quitting.
No, I love it though. To be really honest, I feel better than I have in a long time. I'm going to say that. I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I feel a lot better than I used to feel.
Can you explain what you mean by
these allergies? I've been thinking in my brain, because I know it's something triggering my allergies, that it's something I'm eating or it's something. And honestly, I don't eat a huge amount of cheese. Even if I use cheese, that's never been an issue. Now, milk, on the other hand, I haven't had milk in months. Like, I've been stopped drinking milk because I already know milk jacks me up, like, really bad. But I have been, I've been suffering for the past couple of months. Like, my sinuses have been, like, haywire, and it hasn't been like that. So I'm trying to pinpoint in my diet, what am I doing that's causing it to flare up as bad as it's flaring up? Like, yesterday it was a struggle. Like, so I was sneezing and my nose running, and I don't want to be around people outside because what's going on. Everybody's gonna be looking at me like I got the fucking cooties or something. it was just a little difficult. Like it was, I just want to. That's one of my issues that like I really want to kind of delve in my diet to get rid of because I've suffered with allergies all my life, and they're not just extreme. They're really bad sometimes. Like you can hear me, like I sound stuffy, right? I want to get rid of that. That's because my sinuses are all jacked up. But it's not as bad as it used to be because it used to be more consistent. But when it comes now, it's like, oh, it's like a gut punch. You know what I mean? So I'm down for a few days. Then I'm like doubling up on my allergy pills. So I'm like super tired because I'm taking the allergy pills put me out. So I want to get rid of all of that. So that's my goal.
Okay.
Sorry, I just
No, that's good. So two things I want to add to, if it's okay with you for me to give you some input on that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So regarding the meals, this is a suggestion you might want to do. I know you like to cook throughout the week. On today, you can write down what you're going to eat because you said you have all the food in the house. And I think we spoke about this before, maybe having like a Taco Tuesday or your chili. I made your chili, by the way. It was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah.
But on Sunday, say, if you don't want to cook it, it's cool. Say, okay, so Monday I'm going to eat this. Tuesday I'm going to eat this. Wednesday I'm going to eat this. Another thing, Leona, I know you're in it. The app, My Macros, super important. I want us all to really commit to putting in there. But you were saying you were having issues with eating at night and it being too late. And that's because I told you I want you to have a 12-hour window with nothing in your system. So why don't you do this instead? Have your big meal for lunch and then have a shake or something light for dinner. This way you really don't have to think that much. So we have that 12-hour window, and then you have your breakfast, because you always want to say you want to have breakfast like a king, lunch like a pauper. Actually, let's say queen. Breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. So you usually want your last meal of the day very light anyway, because you're going to sleep on it. And if you think about it, the word lunch and supper, I don't know, in other countries, their second meal is usually bigger. I think they call it supper. So now let's just change how you're eating. Some people do intermittent fasting where they don't eat for 14 or 15 hours straight. So now say, okay, my breakfast is going to be this and my lunch is going to be my biggest meal of the day. That's something you can do so you don't have to worry about eating too late. How does that sound?
That's workable.
Wonderful.
I can do that.
Wonderful. And the last thing I would like to share with you, and Renee, I want you to remind me of this because I was supposed to get it for you as well. There is a sheet. We've talked about the 30-day clean eating challenge. Even though you haven't purchased it, you can still live the lifestyle. Renee actually started the 30-day clean eating program this week, and what that is, it's a month where you eliminate certain foods. There's no alcohol, there's no soda, there's no juice. It's a whole list of things. And then there's a list of foods you do not eat, and then you replace them with certain foods. I want to give you that sheet. Renee, please remind me. The reason why you do this is because, like you said, you don't know what's going on with your body. Why are you getting these allergies? Why are you, not you, why is a person getting acne? Why do they have digestive issues? Because it has something to do with the food you're eating. It could be the bread. You could have a gluten intolerant and you have no idea. So for 30 days, you're going to say, you know what? I'm eating all clean foods for 30 days. And then after 30 days, you slowly start reintroducing things to your system. So 30 days, I'm clean, I'm clean, I'm clean. Mind you, we always want to live a clean eating life, but we're human, okay? Maybe you don't eat regular ice cream. Maybe you eat vegan, plant-based. You can call it plant-based or vegan ice cream. So that month is over, and you say, you know what? I'm going to have a cheeseburger with veggie meat or whatever with cheese. And you notice, oh my gosh, my stomach hurts. Oh, my allergies. Well, you're allergic to cheese. It might be a certain type of bread. It might be a certain type of vegetable, whatever. So that's the purpose of clearing away all these foods for that month. So when you do start eating, it's like, oh, that's why that happened. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So just remind me, Renee, to to do that right there. Renee, talk to us about your meal prepping, and not this week, because I know this week you did the 30-day. Last week was kind of like, this is your third week, but this is your first week with the 30-day. And what's your total weight loss so far? Because I know you did 2 pounds last week, right? How many last week?
I I honestly can't remember the total without getting out of the app and going to look, but I think it's getting close to 20 pounds. I think I don't remember. It's pretty significant. Since
Okay,
the
what was
beginning.
last week was 2 pounds though, right?
Yeah, the one that I just weighed today was 2 pounds. Yes.
Okay, so you're not at your plateau, but you're getting there. What happens when you first start
Yeah.
working out? And Leona, I want you to think of this as your very first week for two reasons. One, in your first week, if you do everything I tell you to do, you can easily lose 5 to 10 pounds in your first week. And it's so funny, they say you shouldn't guarantee certain things, but I think I want to put that in writing, Renee. I'm just saying, like, I can get...
It's true. It's true. If you literally take everything she's saying and do it, it works.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. So, but pretty much, so that's what I want to do with you, Leo. Leona is drinking. I love Leo's like,
I got it. Might as well get it down.
I love it. I love
I don't want to
it.
be getting up at the middle of the night and going to the bathroom.
I love it. So, honestly, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Renee. So this is her third week. That's it. Oh my gosh, it feels like you've been with us forever.
I know.
How are you eating before you started the 30-day? How are you eating?
I was eating like little small meals, but not necessarily focused on the cleaner eating aspect, which I totally love. I don't miss the old way of eating. So,
So last week, would you say so I guess my main question is, what was the major difference from the moment we talked to before then? What changed about your eating habits?
the mindset and the commitment to eating the proper way.
And what was that for you? What was the difference from the way you were eating before and the way you're eating now?
Well, when I was eating before, it was just whenever I got a chance. There was no 12-hour window. It was just here and there and whatever was convenient, as opposed to at least thinking about what it was in advance I was going to have.
Love it, love it. Which makes me think, guys, losing weight is just like making any goal in your life. You have to make a plan. Unfortunately, here in America, they don't really care what they're giving us. They're just going to give us junk upon junk upon junk. And you really have to consciously think about what you're eating, when you're eating, and also how you're eating. So I want to talk about the 20-minute rule. Write this down. The 20-minute rule, I don't think I've shared this with you yet, Renee. Leona, you know what that is. And what that simply means is I want you to put a timer on when you eat your meal today, Renee. Put a timer on, eat your food. Leona, have you done this yet?
No.
We talked about it the other day. I want you to do it today. And time how long it takes for you to eat that meal. Guys, the things I'm saying to you, I'm not saying it just to like be bossy or tell you what to do. The ish really works. So eat your food, look at the timer. How long did it take you to eat it? On average, to be honest with you, I used to finish my food in less than 5 minutes. I'd be at the drive-through, I'd order my food. By the time I got home, the bag was empty. I'm like eating the leftovers on the bottom. We normally eat really fast because it's fast-paced. So look at the timer. How long did it take you to eat? It might be 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then moving forward, I want you to add a minute, add 2 minutes every time you're eating till you get to 20 minutes. So we want a 20-minute rule for eating our food. Some tips for that. First of all, put the fork down. Does anyone eat like this? It's like you're shoveling the food in your mouth. That's one tip. Another one, chew the food 20 to 40 times. They say 40, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be mush by the time it goes down. It's really good because first of all, when it gets into your system, it's easier for your body to break it down. So chew 20 to 40 times before you actually swallow it. That's the second tip. Something else that I do now is I make my food look really pretty. Make a picture, make it look pretty, take a picture, post it, and that'll help you make it look good. And then you eat a little slow, like, oh, that looks so pretty. I make smiley faces on my food sometimes. I like, I'll get a little cup so that the rice is like the rice is in the shape of a circle. I'll make little stars with the vegetables. It looks cute. It's like you're giving yourself an honor. I also like to eat outside so I can feel the sun on my face. I really make it an experience for myself when I eat. And usually I try to put my phone away. Sometimes I'll read, but I want to make this an experience for myself, sort of like a meditation because we're not still enough. And then I go even deeper. How do I go deeper? So I have my food here. And let's just say I have orange juice or an orange. I'm actually thinking about the tree that this orange grew on, the sun that hit it, the rain that came, the green leaves, and then I'm smelling it. What does this orange smell like? So really embrace and embody your food and think of where it comes from. Okay, so if you're eating meat, which looks like some of us do, some of us don't, whatever. But the vegetables, think about the grass that it came from. Are you praying before you eat? Really thanking God for the food, you know, if you believe in God or whatever, your higher power, but taking that opportunity to connect with it. So those are some tips to help you with that 20-minute rule. That's one thing I want us to focus on this week. Do you think that's something you can do?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Sure.
So I don't know if you can see this picture right here. Leon, I think I talked to you about it. I can email it to you. It's called the Magic Plate, and this is how we're going to end today's call. So the Magic Plate, think of your plate that you eat on. Boom, there's the plate. And let's just break it off into 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 on the side there. So each part, you have 3 parts of the plate. One part is going to be high quality protein. And what do I mean by high quality protein? First of all, no pork. I'm just totally against pork. If you didn't know, pigs don't sweat, which simply means everything they're eating, it's in their body, it stays there, and you're eating it too. If you eat meat, that's okay by me, but make sure my grandmother always told me, you're gonna get what you pay for. So if you're paying crappy money for your meat, you're probably getting crappy meat. And I heard something on some show and it made me think of, the animals, they're slaughtered. And think what's going through their head when they're being slaughtered. Like, they're probably scared, anxious, like, oh my God, I'm about to die. Boom, they're dead. But think about it. Could you imagine how much trauma is going through their body when they're being killed? And boom, they're dead. And then that meat is there, and all that trauma and anxiety is in that meat. And then we eat it, and guess what? We have all that trauma. And that's why America's just going to shit in a handbag, because people are eating the animals' trauma and the milk, and maybe I'm going overboard. But
I don't think you are.
But clean eating. So if you're going to eat the meat, and to be honest with you, sometimes I do eat red meat because I feel like extra weak and tired, and the doctor's like, you need red meat, so I'll make sure I get the grass-fed and super clean. It's probably like $50 for a little tiny piece, but I'm like, I'm going to be healthy. But the protein, getting back to that, protein, super, super important. Let's talk about protein for a hot second. I wrote some notes for us, guys, because this is kind of important. So with protein, there's animal-based and there's plant-based. So there's 2 types of protein. Animal from an animal, plant from a plant. Why is protein important? It builds muscle and it saves existing muscle. As we get older, as women, our muscles tend to shrink, they get soft. So protein, out of the 3 major, carbs, protein, and fats, tell me the answer. Which do you think is the most important? Carbs, protein, or fat? Leona, what do you think?
Thinking maybe fats.
Fats. What about you, Renee? What's the most important?
The protein.
Protein. So the answer to that question, the most important is protein, because it builds our muscles and it saves the original muscles. So another thing you want to do, you're probably saying this goes back to the macros, the 3 macros we spoke about. So you want to have 10 to 35% of your calorie intake to be proteins. It's a whole big equation. I think I gave you all the My Macros chart in there, and in there it says how many macros you should have a day. For me, it was very, very challenging as a vegetarian to get all the macros in, because I wasn't eating eggs, I wasn't eating fish, and I just was not, I may have done it once, and it was a struggle to hit those macros. So I started eating eggs, I started eating fish again, like once or twice a week. So your protein is super, 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 super important. We have 2 left, carbs and fats. Out of the carbs and the fats, which out of those 2, and Renee, I'll let you answer first, do you think is the least, like which one we should not have the most of, carbs or fats? Renee, what do you think? What do you think, Leona?
You said carbs, so we shouldn't have too much of? gonna say carbs.
You're absolutely correct. So the best the best macro is protein and the worst is carbs. So with carbs, you want to have 45 to 65% of your caloric intake for carbs. But there's a but. We can't have that juicy bread, Leona. Oh my gosh! I had the most amazing burger this weekend. I had 3 burgers, 3 rolls. That's probably why the scale was so high last night. But I don't care because it tastes. I think they were I don't know what it was, but it was like eating crack. I was like, I'd never had crack before, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. It was so good. So carbs, white bread, white rice, not good. So there's good carbs and there's bad carbs. The list that I'm gonna give you will show you which ones you should eat, which ones you should not eat. Now, you've heard of Atkins, you've heard of keto, you've heard of all these diets. There's diets beyond diets, beyond diets, beyond diets. I don't know about you, but when I think of the word diet, I think of the first 3 letters in it, die. You are going to die if you do a diet. That's what I say to myself because they don't work. I can tell you so many diets I've done in my life, from the grapefruit diet to the Beyonce diet to the this diet to the that. And it's come and gone and come and gone. My goal is to teach you how to eat, to teach you, this is gonna end in 15 minutes, so we gotta hurry. I should probably make it an hour, just got carried away. But to teach you how to eat clean so you can teach someone else, and it's not a struggle, it's not a battle, you're not like getting angry. So fats, we do need fats, but again, good fats, like avocado and all those things. So in regards to that magic plate, you wanna make sure you have greens, some type of vegetables. You wanna make sure you have nutrient-dense starchy vegetables or grains like brown rice, like quinoa, like sweet potato, things like that. And then you want your protein and then fats in the center. So when you're eating next time, look at your plate and say, well, how much do I have of each thing? And then again, this will help with your 20 minutes because I know, Leona, how you said you hate the My Macros. To make the 20 minutes go longer, as you're there, start putting the things, your food, in the My Macros, and it calculates everything that you have there. Because like Renee said before she started this journey, she would just eat whatever, whenever. And even if you're eating healthy stuff, I'm speaking from experience, and this was before I got a nutritionist, I'm like, why am I not losing weight? I don't eat bad, because I really don't eat bad. You know, I do the 80-20 rule, but if you're eating whatever, whenever, however, without a plan, you're not gonna lose weight. Questions, tips, concerns. I'm finished with today's rant.
It's awesome.
Leona, any questions?
No.
Okay, so just to verbal backtrack everything, we talked about carbs, protein, and fats, protein being the most important. Even if you get between 120 proteins a day, grams of protein a day, that's amazing, that's on point. That's what I really want us to focus on, and water. So action steps for this week. Leona, out of everything I just said, Renee, you as well, what is an action step you can take this week to move the needle a little bit closer to being healthy for you?
I'm gonna write down, like you said, like plan my meals for the week.
Okay, let's leave it at that. You could go on with many, many more, but I found when you try to do too many things, it gets overwhelming. So today you're gonna write down what you're gonna eat for the week. You're not gonna cook it, but you're at least gonna write it down. You're gonna also, I think you had said you're gonna change up dinner, your heaviest meal, to lunch. Is that correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's your aha moment right there, is that you're gonna, you know what, I get antsy when I have to eat at night. I don't know what to eat. So now you can put a lot of time, even if you're eating lunch at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever. You have plenty of time to eat it. You know, Renee, what is an action step you're gonna take today towards your eating?
The 20 minutes.
20 minutes, good, good, good. All right, ladies, so we are here every Sunday at 2 o'clock. Very good. Any questions, any concerns, let me know. And next week's topic will be something else that's in my notes somewhere. I'll let you know them. Otherwise, Leona, you're probably not aware, I am doing I guess you can say a challenge, and I would love your support and your help. For you, I want to empower 100 women of color to change their lifestyle, to move closer to living a healthier lifestyle. I would like to invite you to join, and then once you join, you're going to get an email of how to, what needs to be done. But I want you to spread the word, whether that's spreading the word through Instagram, friends, email, or whatever, because I feel that a change has to happen, and people go by experiences. So I'd love for you to join our tribe in doing this, and that's it.
Amen. I'll do it.
Alrighty. So also make sure you guys sign up for your classes for the month. Remember, we have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m., Saturday, 8 a.m., Tuesday, Thursday. The evenings, I have to put tomorrow's class in for 9 o'clock since we're not doing the 6 a.m. And we also have 2 new instructors. We have Gail, who's doing detox yoga. I didn't get a chance to do all of her class, but it is saved in here. So you can go back and do her class if you want. My mother's doing a silver stars class, which is like silver sneakers, but for seniors. So it's gonna be light stretching, and with light weights and stretching, you can do that as well, Leona. It's gonna be some maybe sitting in the chair or movement, but it's something to do. Like you said the other day, you're just sitting in the house. Like, what are you gonna do? Always be moving. I'm gonna shut up, guys.
It's been awesome.
Yay! All right, guys. See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'll book the class now before I forget.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.